Hello everyone, welcome back to Living Through It, a lifestyle podcast for teens by a teen, hosted by yours truly, Isabella. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Today's episode is going to be Today's episode is going to be about how to say no. But before I get into all of it, let me tell you guys how this past week has been. And for my video listener watchers, I guess I would call you guys, this is a new different type of setup. I don't know if I necessarily like it. You can kind of see the mess in my room. I don't know. I'm going to try to blur the background so hopefully you don't see it that good. But my room's pretty messy. But yeah, I'm just trying out a different position in my room to film. So we'll see how that goes. I might keep it. I might not. Stay tuned to find out. But yeah. Anyways, I'm currently watching Love Next Door. Still watching that. So good. It updates on Saturday and Sunday. So today was the second update of the week. And it definitely left off on a cliffhanger. Although the cliffhanger was spoiled to me by a TikTok. So I'm never going on TikTok again before I watch any of these videos because I hate spoilers. I hate spoilers and I got spoiled. So it wasn't as shocking or sad as it should have been. But yeah, anyways, watch Love Next Door. It's so good. And then I also started No Gain, No Love. So good. Ugh, the trope literally eats down every single time. I'm like obsessed. Literally in my notes, I just have like a keyboard smash because there's like no way I can put this into words. Like, it's so good. And like, I'm obsessed with like the main character's like dynamic. Like, yeah. And then, last episode I said I was gonna start watching something at 2 a.m. Well, it's called Cinderella at 2 a.m. And like the concept is cute, I guess, and it's like definitely new and original. But I don't know, guys. It's kind of like not hitting the way I want it to hit. And I really wanted it to hit like good. Like I was excited for that one. So I don't know. I'll have to like give it another chance. Like maybe it gets better as the episodes progress. But like right now I just don't have time to give it a chance. Because I barely have any time to watch, so when I do, I want it to be good. You know what I mean? So yeah, not really good in my opinion. Yet. I'll give it another chance eventually. But yeah. And then I still haven't started watching Suits. I just haven't had time. And then same thing with the Paralympics. Like, I really wanted to watch it, but I like to, like, watch the Olympics live. But, like, with school and stuff, like, being, like, full on, like, we're into that now, like, I just don't have time to do it anymore. And that's kind of depressing, kind of depresso, but, yeah. I mean, I got to see, like, I had time to see, like, some of the clips of the Paralympics, and from what I saw, it was really cool. Like, the rowing, I love watching rowing, but, yeah, I haven't really been able to get into it. And honestly, I don't think I will be able to anymore. Unless, like, I watch it. I don't even know when I would watch it. Yeah. And then you're like, Bella, but like you're watching K-dramas. But that's different. That's not sports watching. Like sports watching is like a different type of watching. But yeah. And then reading. So I know I said that I checked out a book, but I still haven't really started reading the book, so I'm technically not reading anything right now, unless you count like the Constitution for AP Gov. But yeah. And then currently listening to KRMB again. It's kind of like starting, like, the seasons are starting to transition into fall. Like, today I realized with my best friend, as we were walking out of Mass, because we sing in the choir together, that the sun was setting at an earlier time. And it was weird. We were like, what the heck? Why is it setting so early? Because it usually sets at, like, 7 or 8. But it was, like, really early, like, 6, like, late 6 o'clock, I think. And it was setting. And we're like, what is going on right now? But yeah, so the seasons are changing and I'm here for it. But also, why are we in a heat wave right now? Like where I live, it was literally 108 like 2 days ago. 108 in September? September? I don't know. From where I live, like it's really common for it to be really hot, and plus we like live in a desert technically. I hate when it's really hot, guys. I can't. I love to cuddle up in like so many different blankets. And so like barely sleeping with like one blanket is like just not doing it. Like it is not cutting out. Like I'm not sleeping good. And that's because I don't have the weight of like a bajillion blankets on me. So I need it to get cold like ASAP. But it will, hopefully. But yeah. Hello? I just realized in my notes that I put like in August, question mark, question mark, question mark. That's literally so crazy. But it's September. So obviously you can see I'm kind of like in the past, I guess, in my brain. Like nothing has really registered that it's like time is moving and it's moving really fast and it's kind of scary. But yeah, and like talking about time moving really fast, I'm still working, sorry, on college apps and my personal essays and studying for the November SAT, which is now in less than 2 months. And managing all my classes, homework, and clubs, and like family responsibilities in my life, and like being myself, and then self care. Oh, but yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. That's literally my entire life, every day, all day. But yeah, events. I mentioned last episode that I was gonna have my first youth ministry by this episode. Sorry, first youth ministry meeting, and I did, and it was super fun. Everyone was super nice, and I'm really excited for all the events. So yeah, stay tuned for when I start talking about those. But yeah. And then I also went to watch It Ends With Us by myself. A little solo date because I have the AMC like was it A-list or something? I don't know. That gives you like three free movies a month. I mean, sorry, a week. And so I was like, well, if I don't go watch a movie, then I'm just giving them money to give them money. So I made myself go watch it, and I'm glad I did because it was really good. Surprisingly, as like a book girly, I know I said like, oh, I'm not reading, but when I read, okay? Just trust me. I'm in kind of like a reading slump right now, but usually I'm not. But yeah. Anyways, I watched It Ends With Us, and I hadn't read the series like at all. Like I've known about it, but like that's it. Like I knew of it, but I didn't know what it was really about besides like SA and like that kind of stuff. But like I didn't know what to expect. So when I watched it, I was like, that's what it's about? And I was like, damn, okay, now the hype makes sense, but also like the ending to me didn't feel realistic. Like him just accepting it, I don't know. I'm skeptical. But apparently it's like a whole series. So now I need to read the books. So eventually when I start telling you guys what I'm reading currently, those books will be what I'm talking about. But not right now because I'm really busy. But eventually. Hopefully like during the break or something. In like 2.5 months. Anyway. But yeah, it was tragic. Like I actually cried. Like I shed like a tear or two. I was able to hold it in because I was literally by myself at the movie theaters, and I'm not about to walk out of that theater with mascara dripping down my face. Mm-mm. But it was really sad, and it was really eye-opening. So yeah. Anyways, I'm looking forward to late start tomorrow. This year there's a lot of like late starts on Mondays, and then a whole bunch of Mondays off for my school. And honestly, I kind of love that. I hate Mondays. I hate going to school on Mondays. I hate waking up early on Mondays. I know everyone hates Mondays. I am everyone. So knowing that I have late start tomorrow, so I can sleep in a little bit or stay up later today, makes me feel good. But yeah. And then all of the crazy ton of events and meetings I have to attend this week. That's word for word on what I wrote in my notes. But yeah, I have a lot of things to do next week. Like I have my planner right in front of me right now. Literally every single lunch. I guess this week. It's not even next week. It's this week already. But every single lunch, I'm busy. And after school. And before school. And during school. Yeah. I'm trying to gaslight myself into thinking that I'm excited to do all this stuff. Because honestly, I am. There's a bunch of fun stuff to do in here. Like college stuff and like club stuff. But I don't know. It's a lot, so hopefully I can do it. But yeah, I'm just trying to approach this in like an open and positive mindset. But yeah. Anyways, okay. So now that I'm done with telling you guys about like where I am mentally, and by mentally I mean all the stuff that I do that's not academic, I guess. Another thing that I did, or more like I didn't do, was attend or help out at my school's freshman retreat. So every year there's a freshman retreat, and the seniors, which I'm a senior now, I know I've said that before, but maybe you're a new listener, you don't know, I'm a senior. But the seniors will lead the retreat, and they'll like help out with the different stuff. And there's like one specific like horror myth that we like run every year. And so like the seniors there will like do a prank about like that myth and like scare all the freshmen because they're all sleeping in the gym overnight. And I really wanted to do that and like be part of that because for my freshman retreat, it wasn't an overnight retreat because it was during like COVID. So I couldn't sleep over and it was really depressing. So I still haven't slept over at my school. But I got really bad FOMO because I missed the deadlines like a bajillion times, and then by the time I realized I still really wanted to do it, it was like way too late. So I just couldn't do it anymore, and I got really bad FOMO for not going or like not attending. But I mean, it was an involuntary no, but I feel like I needed to say no to it only because like you guys know how much stuff I do. Like I don't know, like I didn't even feel like I felt sad for not being there, but I'm glad I didn't go, if that makes sense. I mean, I wish I was there and I wish I was able to experience that or like do like the prank and stuff. But even though I like didn't get to experience it, I was able to like actually rest this weekend with like minimal stress, and that was so important for me. Like this was like one of the least stressful weekends I've had since school has started. I mean, it's only been like 6 weekends, but still. And I feel like I just really needed to say no to that and like prioritize myself and my health first. So like I guess I put it off because I knew it was gonna be too much for me subconsciously, but like I didn't really know that I was doing that. I don't even know. Like it's like a weird situation with like my own self. But I just like I needed to not do it. I needed to be able to like not be part of something because that's like something I'm really obsessed with, like doing stuff, which is really weird. But I feel like me saying no or like involuntarily saying no was really good for me. And that made me realize that we need to learn to say no a lot more often and like just learn when enough is enough and like where we need to draw like lines and boundaries. And I feel like that's really important to know. So I decided to do this episode on all that stuff. And like I know FOMO sucks. Like it sucks so hard. I literally hate FOMO. Like I have gotten FOMO so much like in my entire life, especially like middle school and up and like with COVID and stuff. So it was really bad. But I'm starting to like try to learn how to change FOMO to JOMO. And in case you don't know what FOMO and JOMO is and you're thinking I'm literally just saying like gibberish, FOMO stands for the fear of missing out. And then like a new phrase like that's been kind of like surfacing the internet today is like JOMO, which is the joy of missing out. And I don't think it's like an official one. I know FOMO is, but yeah, in case you didn't know, that's what it is. But I just feel like it was really important for us to like learn how to say no, even if we think we're gonna get FOMO, because eventually it will actually give us JOMO. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, so I came up with a couple of tips and like advice on how you can say no so that you can hopefully change your FOMO into eventually having it be a JOMO experience or event instead. But yeah, so anyways, number one is to figure out when to say no. So you need to be like clear on your priorities first and foremost. I'm pretty sure I've talked about priorities before, like how to figure out like what's most important. I think that was last week. Was it? I think so. Yeah, it was last week. It was last week. I hope. But yeah, so like figure out what you value the most and like what's most important to you. And then here's when you use that when you're like analyzing or deciding when you need to say no. So say no when, one, things conflict with your priorities. If saying yes to something, to do something or help out with something or like that, or like help someone is going to like conflict with what you already prioritize, then you're gonna just say no, okay? Number two, say no when doing something or saying yes to something will overwhelm you or when you're already overwhelmed. You don't want to say yes to something and then add to like your stress. You know what I mean? So that's really important. Three, say no when you don't really think you're qualified enough to execute it. That being said, don't underestimate yourself. And if you're just saying no because you're scared to do something, that's different. Like if you can afford to do it, you should do it because live and learn, you know what I mean? But if you already have a whole bunch of other things and you're contemplating to add another thing on top of your list, and you don't really think that you have like the right skill set to do something, or you just won't be able to do it well enough. Like, say for example, someone asks you to like make a balloon arch for their birthday party, but you've never done that before, and you know that you probably won't be able to, say no. If you don't think you can do it, and you don't really think you can do it, like not just like with like the skills, but like just like the time and energy, then say no. I don't know what number this is. 4? Yeah. Say no, number 4. Say no when it is not your responsibility. Okay, this is a big one, especially for my people pleasers out there. Literally me. But yeah. Respect yourself enough to know when something is not your responsibility and none of your business. Some people don't understand boundaries, and I definitely think this might be like order of birth that plays into that. Like a lot of younger siblings, sorry, coming from an older sibling, but obviously I know that too, that I have like that kind of stuff too, if you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, sorry, that's not important. Some people just don't know when they shouldn't be asking for someone else to do something, especially when they can just do it themselves. You know what I mean? Or they just are lazy and they don't want to do it. It's like, you know what? I'll ask her. She usually says yes to me. Nuh-uh. Don't let them do that to you. You know who you are, and you should respect the fact that you can't do everything, especially when someone else can do it for themselves, and especially when it's not your responsibility. So if someone else has a job and they can't do it, or they don't want to do it, so they ask you to do it for them, but it's none of your business and it's none of your responsibility, and it's like not under your care, say no, okay? Say no, say no, say no, say no. I know it's hard, especially as like a people pleaser, to like let someone down, but are you gonna let that person down, or are you gonna let yourself down? Who's more important here? And like, I know we should be prioritizing others and like be kind and like love others and stuff, but like just like on a mental state, there's other people they can ask, okay? Like, you're not the only person who can do something, and they can figure it out too. You have your responsibilities, they have theirs. Let them deal with their own and only deal with yours. You know what I mean? But yeah. And then 5, say no when saying yes takes away from your other activities that you strongly value. I know it's kind of like a reiteration of like things that conflicted with your priorities, but it's slightly different because it's like more talking about like family time or like self-care time or just anything that's really, really important to you. Like, if saying yes to doing something that's going to tire you out and then you won't be able to enjoy your family dinner or your like once a month cousin reunion or something like that, and it's just going to like take your energy away. It might not take your time away because you can still do both, but it's just going to take your energy away and your presence or like presentness like for that event, then just say no. Because like if family is something you really value, you're gonna want to be able to like be fully present and like fully energized when you're there with your family. But if you say yes to doing like a really late cleanup like the day before, so you're really exhausted and like kind of cranky when you're there, you won't really be able to enjoy your family. And your family is something that you value. So it's really important to say no when something's gonna like take away not just your time, but like your energy and your willingness to be at other places, especially things that you value. Okay, now that you know when to say no, here's tip number 2, how to say no. Like I said, this is for my fellow people pleasers, okay? This is really important. Number 1, be direct, be clear, and be straightforward, okay? Don't beat around the bush. If you can't do it, you're gonna have to say no, okay? I'm sorry, no, I can't help you with that. I'm sorry, no, I just don't have time to help you right now. You know what I mean? Just tell them that you can't do it, like, outright, like, right off the bat, you know what I mean? And then, like, be honest, but don't over-explain yourself. Like, say, for example, let me see. I'm trying to think of for some reason, the example I came up with in my head is, like, an adult version, so I'm trying to think of one that's more teenage version for us. I don't know why I thought of an adult version when this is literally for teenagers and I'm a teenager. Okay, I have one. So, say for example, like me, you have younger siblings, right? And your parents have to go to back to school night for your other sibling, but they need people to watch your other younger siblings. You know what I mean? So, who's gonna watch them? Well, they can't ask anyone else because all the other families out of town are not available at the moment. And you're old enough to be responsible enough to watch your siblings for an hour or two. Then you're gonna have to say yes to doing that, right? But then someone asks you, oh, hey, can you come over to my house from 6 to 8 so that we can work on the project? But that's the same exact time they have to watch your siblings, and that project isn't due for like another week. Just say, no, I can't. And especially, like, if you're closer with that person, you can tell them. And you can be like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't come over today because I have to take care of my siblings. Or I have to watch my siblings, you know what I mean? But, like, say, for example, it's not like your friend asking you to come over for a project, but it's like a teacher asking you to go out of your way to go to, like, an ambassador event or, like, a marketing event or something for your school. Just tell them, like, even be more broad, I guess, with what you're saying. And just be like, I'm sorry, I can't attend that because I have prior commitments. Boom. Done. You told them no, and you were polite and you gave them a reason why. You don't have to tell them, oh, I'm sorry, I can't come because I'm the only person in the town right now that can help my family because my family is like 3 younger siblings than me and I have a big age gap, and so I'm old enough to help my siblings, but my parents both have to go to work and to back to school night, so the other person that can watch my siblings is me, so I can't go help at that ambassador thing. Girl, they don't need to know that, okay? Just tell them, oh, I have prior commitments. 1, you're saving yourself time because that takes long to explain all of that. 2, you're giving yourself boundaries and space. And 3, you're being polite, but you're also saying no. And you're also saying it in a way that kind of invites someone to be respectful towards you because you're doing it in like a more educated manner, or like a more, what's the right word? Like academic manner, I guess? I don't know. So like you look like you present yourself as more responsible. So you're not just saying no to say no. Like you don't look like you're just saying no. This is like just coming from like my inside like insecurities and stuff. It doesn't look like you're just saying no to say no. Or looks like you're saying no because you're lazy, even though you know you're not lazy, but you think you're going to look lazy. You're saying no, and you're preventing that whole like, oh, I think they're gonna think I'm lazy and I just don't want to go because I'm saying no. No, you're saying no, and then you're telling them you have prior commitments, which means that you're giving them a reason as to why. It's not even an excuse, it's the actual reason as to why you can't go. But you're not giving them all your information, because that is none of their business, you know what I mean? Anyway, that was a long tangent, but yeah, be honest and don't ever explain yourself. And then number 3 are just 2 things to like keep in mind. Tip number 3, sorry. Number 1 is to be prepared for pushback. Like I said previously, some people just don't know boundaries. They don't have social cues. That's a them thing, not a you thing, okay? Just understand that first and foremost. But yeah, they're gonna like try to like overstep, and they might even try to like pressure you or like gaslight you into feeling bad for saying no. And like even try to like strongly insist, but it's really just like not even giving you the opportunity or taking no for a no. But yeah, don't give in, okay? Because only you know what your limits are. And so like you should know, and you do know. You don't should, not should. You do know, okay? Believe it or not, you know what you can and cannot do, but also what you should and shouldn't do. So you know when something isn't a priority, and you know when something is not at all important for you. And you know when something is important even when you know that something is important and that you should and can be doing it. You know what I mean? So if someone's trying to like push you to do something, but you already told them no, be firm in your no, okay? Don't be easily swayed by them, because like it can be done by other people, like I said previously. Like, trust. If there's a will, there's a way. It'll be done one way or another, okay? In worst case scenario, whatever it is gets postponed or something like that. You know what I mean? Whatever it is. But yeah. And then lastly, know your rights, okay? You have free will. You also have the freedom to do what you want, depending on where you are, I guess. No, actually no. Wherever you are, okay? You're allowed to do whatever you want, no matter what. You can't choose your consequences, but you can choose your actions, okay? So you have the right to say no. Does that mean that you might not be able to attend something and that might lead into like missing a spot in like an event? Maybe, okay? Don't lie to yourself, that might happen. But saying, oh, I lost my train of thought. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, like saying no might result in you losing stuff and might result in a consequence that you kind of don't want. But saying yes will result in another consequence, okay? So choose your poison at this point. I think it's much better to lose something that might not have even been for you in the first place than to lose your sanity, lose your health, lose your sense of self. You know what I mean? That kind of rhymes. Sorry. But like, it's perfectly okay for you to say no, even if that means that certain things are going to happen because you said no. Okay, you are allowed to say no. You're allowed to not do something. Okay? Just the same way that you're allowed to do something, you're allowed to not do something. And I just want to say again, I already said it, but I feel like it's really important to understand. You are allowed to choose your actions. You cannot choose your consequences. And you have to come to terms with that. Unfortunately, like, we can't always predict exactly what's going to happen because of our actions, especially like the butterfly effect and all that kind of stuff. So just focus on what you can do, and whatever happens after that is out of your control, okay? And then also, you are not obligated to anyone or to anything. Believe it or not, okay? You might think, oh, but like, sorry, mom. You might think like, oh, but she's my mom, so like I have to help her. Technically, if you don't want to wash the dishes, you don't have to. Will that result in you losing your phone? Maybe. But you didn't do the dishes because you could choose not to do the action. Same thing, like, if you don't want to or if you can't go to an event, like, you just can't. You know what I mean? Yes, it may result in you, like, missing out on the memories, I guess, that you could have had, but you can't control that because you're not there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, like, you're not obligated. I feel like I kind of lost my train of thought. I've been doing that a lot this episode. I'm sorry, guys. I'm kind of all over the place. But yeah, you're just, like, not obligated to do anything. No one can force you to do something. I mean, like, there's loopholes to that, I think. But, like, for the most part. Like, no one can force you to drive to a game that's 2 hours away and completely just not doable for you, okay? Because they want you to be there. If you can't go, you can't go, and you're going to tell them, no, I can't go. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you're not obligated to drive those 2 hours for anyone or drive those 2 hours to do something. But also keep in mind, to say no is to say yes. Ooh, why did I kind of go with that? I'm pretty sure I heard that somewhere else. I don't think that was my original idea. But yeah, like, saying no to something means you're saying yes to something else, okay? So saying no to that game is saying yes to giving yourself 2 hours of rest. Saying no to... I'm not gonna use the doing the dishes part, because honestly, saying no to the dishes is saying yes to not helping your mom out, okay? So... my mom's gonna tell me to do the dishes when she hears this. She's like, Bella, you need to do the dishes. I don't want to. But I need to, because I need to help my mom out. You know what I mean? So yeah, me saying no to the dishes would be me saying yes to not helping my mom. But me saying yes to the dishes is me saying no to being, what's the right word that is appropriate? To be a respectful daughter. Let's go with that. What's another example? Saying no to, like the example I gave with back to school night. Saying no to doing that project or going to the ambassador training is saying yes to helping your parents out and spending time with your siblings, okay? So keep that in mind. And then also, like I said previously, like, know your boundaries and respect them. You know where your boundaries lie, you know your lines and the lines you don't want other people to cross, and the lines that you shouldn't cross yourself either. So respect that, and respect other people's lines too. But yeah, and just know that your boundaries and other people's boundaries are very important, and you should try to protect them as much as possible, especially if that means saying no. But yeah, anyways, to recap, remember your priorities. Know when you should be saying no, both out of respect for yourself and for others, and then know how to say no. Be prepared for pushback and know your rights, okay? I hope this was helpful for you guys, and I hope you were able to I hope that you will be able to put these tips into practice, especially now that we're at the beginning of a new season, a new era of life with school starting again. And there will be stuff where you'll have to say no to. So I hope you use these tips to say no. But yeah, wherever you guys are listening, make sure to like, follow, comment, and subscribe, as well as follow the podcast on Instagram at Livin Through IT Podcast. Remember, you can listen to this podcast wherever you find your podcast or on YouTube, since this is indeed and in fact a video podcast. That being said, video podcasts will now be uploaded to Spotify, so you can choose if you want to listen to just the audio version on there or you want to watch the video as you listen to the audio. Anyways, make sure to come back next week for more advice. My name's Isabella, and you've been listening to Livin Through It. Love ya! Bye!